of preparation. The players are ready for another roller coaster season of anticipation, drama and excitement too. Strap yourselves in and enjoy the ride. There's sure to be plenty of highs, not too many lows, we hope. The Premier League is back and it's serving up a cracker today to kick off Liverpool's Arne Slot's era. After a positive pre-season, it's destination Portman Road for the Reds today in their Premier League opener. Expect a battle from day one though, as Ipswich Town have waited 22 years to be back in the top tier. This 12:30 kickoff is going to be a huge one for everyone involved today. Yeah, welcome along to today's Matchday Live, where we are building up to the opening day of the Premier League. I am in the company of Gary Gillespie and Phil Babb this afternoon. We are here in the studio. David James is down at Portman Road for us, and we're going to hear from all of them throughout our pre-match build-up. First up, though, let's head right down to the stadium now, where Mark Benstead has got the 11 that make up Arne Slot's starting lineup for the opening day match against Ipswich Town. Mark.
A new season, a new manager, newish opposition, but no new faces. So it's a starting 11 today for Arne Slot's first match, which is full of familiar faces and trusted lieutenants from previous seasons. They start with Alisson Becker in goal, and then it's Virgil van Dijk, Luis Diaz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Mohamed Salah. Salah making his 350th Liverpool appearance. He scored in 6 of the 7 opening day fixtures in which he's played during that time. It's Diogo Jota, Andy Robertson, Ryan Gravenberch, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jarell Quansah to complete that starting 11. Quansah only made his debut against Newcastle last August. He starts on the opening day of this season. On the bench is Kelleher, Endo, Kanati, Nunez, Jones, Gakpo, Elliott, Tsimikas and Bradley. Liverpool haven't lost on the opening day for 11 seasons now. Can Arne Slot keep that run going? Not long until we find out.
Thank you very much, Mark. It is a warm welcome to Gary and to Phil. And straight into it, Arne Slot's first Liverpool starting 11. Is that pretty much what you're expecting, Babsy?
I think so. It's good to see Robbo back in. I think Tsimikas has done brilliantly in pre-season. He's always been a competent number 2 in that left-back position. So, but you've got to play your strongest team, whoever's available. And Robbo's proven his fitness. Obviously, the manager's confident in him, and he gives us something more of what we're going to see a lot more this season. More impetus on our full-backs this year, with Trent in the right back position, Robbo on the left, and takes us back a few seasons ago when them two were the best full-backs in world football, arguably bombing forward, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that, as I said, this season. Yeah,
Gary will be glad to have a Scotsman back in the lineup there, but is that what we're expecting? As we say, it's pretty much the side from Sevilla, minus Robbo coming back in, of course.
Well, I did the Sevilla game and I thought that the starting 11 against Sevilla wouldn't be much different to what the starting 11 would be again today. So proved right. A little bit surprised. I mean, he's not played an awful lot of football, Andrew Robertson. I think the big call is Ryan Gravenberch coming in as a holding midfield player alongside Alexis McAllister. That's where we presume he will play. That's a big call. He played a bit part really last season under Jurgen Klopp, but the manager obviously sees something in him that suggests that he's looking to play him in that holding midfield role alongside Alexis McAllister. So it's a big day for him as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because he obviously came straight in against Manchester United on tour and he played that position again against Sevilla. So as Gary says, the boss must see something in Ryan Gravenberch that he thinks is a good quality to have in that position. What's your thoughts, Phil?
Well, what I think is, and what we're seeing from the clips here, is taking the ball with back to play, and I think he probably wasn't that confident so much with Endo doing it and Curtis doing it, but we've seen here he's a fantastic technician. He's got a great engine on him though, good awareness, easily links the lines, good range of passing. I think maybe that is something that Jurgen didn't even think about playing a Ryan in that position, but yeah, he's done well in pre-season and deserves his chance. We've seen him there, he's gone box to box as well. As I said, he's got that engine. So hopefully it's a gamble that pays off.
Yeah, I've been disappointed not to get too many minutes, well, no minutes for Holland, obviously, at the Euros, and probably chomping at the bit just to get going for this season, Gary.
Yeah, I think when you look at these clips, the one thing that he does do when he receives the ball, he's often very much side on, so he's got that vision and awareness of what about him, like he can let the ball run through him and go forward and play forward balls. That's where Endo, for me at times, certainly from looking at him last season, he got a little bit square on, so the only way he could really go was either back to the centre back or back to the full back. Gravenberch gives you that little bit different option where he gets on the half turn and he can let the ball run through him and start running at the opposition midfield player, or he can open his body up and make the passes that we saw in the little clips that we saw there.
A word for Mohamed Salah, 350 appearances for Liverpool, 350 racking up today. I mean, what a journey it has been, Phil. Phenomenal.
What a player, you know. What a signing, an absolute Liverpool legend, a legend of world football, let's be honest. His goal-scoring feats are unbelievable. What can you say? There's not enough superlatives for Mo. He's looking extremely trim and sharp already in pre-season. I think he's on a mission. You know, I think certainly today he'll be hungry to score goals. I think he can break the record.
He can indeed. I was just going to say that.
For opening day goals, I think he's level with Shearer,
Rooney, Frank Lampard.
Yeah. So he's in great company. So he'll be chomping in a bit, and it wouldn't surprise me for him to break another record in his illustrious career already. But just his running, his drive here, great run, outstripping the Arsenal defence here, and the composure that we know that he's got just to slot the ball in. It was a fantastic goal, that one, from start to finish anyway.
We saw, obviously, Arne Slot, Gary, just there, obviously at Portman Road, taking it all in. What will be going through his mind for this one? It's just so crucial, obviously, for a new boss to get off to a good start.
Well, it doesn't seem the kind of guy that feels a lot of pressure, but I'm sure coming into a side like Liverpool and managing a club like Liverpool, and especially in the Premier League, where every game you know that you have to be on it, you have to be at it to get a result. It'll all be new to him a little bit, you know, when you think about the fact that he won't have been to many of these grounds. He certainly won't have been to Portman Road before, I don't think. No. So it's all a little bit new with the travelling and what have you. He'll get accustomed, he'll get used to the fact that he'll be at home at Anfield. But all the away grounds, different changing rooms, different atmospheres. And it's something that he'll have to get used to, and get used to it pretty quickly, because again, any time that a manager comes in at Liverpool, there's great expectation levelled on his shoulders, and I don't think he is any different.
Yeah, how tricky is this one to start? Because there's kind of an element of the unknown for both teams, really. Obviously, Liverpool under a new manager, and obviously Ipswich as well. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because you never know fully what to expect from a newly promoted team.
Well, there are usually upsets on the opening day.
Don't say that.
No, I'm not saying it's going to happen here. I'm quite confident today. But they are an unknown quantity. Yeah, they were fantastic in the Championship. They played a brand of football that they should have won the Championship. They were only a point off Leicester. They had a bad April when they drew 3 games. But if they'd won them, then they would have won. They would have been crowned champions comfortably. He likes attacking football, so if he, listening to his presser, he's going to stick to the same philosophies, that plays into our hands a little bit, because he does like to bomb his fullbacks forward, and there are space behind. And as we've seen, we are trying to hit the longer ball to get in behind advanced and high lines now. So they could play into our hands. So it'd be interesting to see their team, how they set up. But yeah, I see this as a great opportunity. I don't think we could have asked for a better fixture unless we were playing Ipswich at home.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, going away, less pressure. You know, I think the lads will go out and enjoy it today, and I think he's built a confidence, and we've seen that in pre-season through that team that could really put Ipswich to the sword today. OK,
thank you both. We are going to hear now from the man who picked that Liverpool starting 11. Here is Arne Slot speaking to the media ahead of his first competitive match in charge of Liverpool Football Club.
As a manager, wherever you are, you try to do the same thing. You try to implement your playing style to the players. And fortunately for me, a lot of this playing style the players already knew, because many things have stayed the same, and we try to adjust where we can to improve the team a bit. And this is where you're constantly working on, and that gives me and my staff a lot of energy, because the players have a lot of energy and try to implement the things we want and try to keep the things the same like they were. So that gives energy to us as well, that the players really buy into it and want to make the best out of what we're trying to present to them. We're always talking here about transfers, but it's also a very positive thing that we kept our players. And they're in a good place at the moment. I said many times already, Jurgen left the team in a good place, and we're trying to build from there. And last season was also a season where they could win a trophy with this team. So we're hoping and aiming for the same, of course, this season. But it's not going to be easy because a lot of good and strong teams in the Premier League that also strengthen the squad. So, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
We are going to hear more from Arne Slot later in our build-up, but for now, let's head back down to Portman Road. Mark Benstead has David James alongside him.
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, the sun is shining in Suffolk for this Premier League opener. And for such a special occasion, I've got the most sartorially elegant pundit I could bring along with. David James is here with me pitchside. David, new season is here. The first team is out under Arne Slot. What do you make of his selection?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they said the weather is magnificent. It is exactly what you want the first game of the season. I'm not surprised, given the one change, Robbo coming in for Simicas from the Sevilla game, which was a fantastic win last game. Their last proper game in pre-season. So yeah, it looks strong. They'll be confident, and look forward to a great start to the season for Liverpool.
We always try and second guess the intentions of a manager by their team selections in pre-season, who does what in pre-season. Is there anyone who's missed out today who you thought maybe had a chance of starting, given what they did in those warm-up games?
No, because of the Sevilla game. And I think, having been through enough pre-seasons myself, you know that there's going to be certain players who peak, if you like, a little bit earlier than others, or get into the speed of things before the others. But effectively, that last pre-season game is the one that will dictate who's going to be starting this game. And as I say, with the performance against Sevilla being so good, I think everyone who started that game deserves to be here.
One of the real areas of focus in these early games will be the midfield, slightly different to how Jurgen set things up. There's not a traditional ball winner playing, whoever plays in the deepest positions. It's more footballers. How does that impact on how the team will operate and what they have to do within that setup?
I think what I like and I found really encouraging is that when you've got so many ball players, you keep possession, more people are going to get forward, more opportunities are going to be created. And from what we've seen in pre-season, that's something that Liverpool under Arne have been striving to do. So the idea of having people sitting means you've got one less player going forward. So I think it's going to be an interesting season for Arne. The fact, and again, the fact that he hasn't brought anyone in means that the players are very familiar with themselves. And I think they'll have, a tough game here against Ipswich, given what Ipswich did last season. The caveat to that is there's a new load of Ipswich players coming in who weren't here last season. So, but that midfield will be strong.
You mentioned it is the same players, no new additions at Liverpool. In contrast, Ipswich in the last 24 hours have made some big signings. What do you make of the fact that as of yet, the new manager hasn't dipped his toe into the transfer market?
Encouraging, and there's Jurgen leaving, and there was an imagination there was going to be a lot of change. But when Jurgen came in, his first transfer window, he didn't bring any players in. I saw that as a statement of trust towards the players to prove themselves. They did. Then he made the signings, and I think what Arne Slot's doing now replicates that in such a way that everyone in this squad knows that if they do the right things, they've got a chance to be in his starting lineup. They've got a chance to do good things with Liverpool. So no signings is good for me.
Okay, yeah, and what a setting we've got here for this opening game, regardless of who is starting. Just put into context how big this game is to the local fans. 2 seasons ago, Ipswich kicked off the campaign at home to Bolton in League One. Having Liverpool in town for the opening game this time round is a little bit different.
Has been a phenomenal journey for them, hasn't it? Now, after the Euros in the summer, where he of course shared the golden boot and gained plenty of plaudits for his performances for the Netherlands, Cody Gakpo is back with the Reds and he cannot wait for this new season to start.
Yes, every first day of the season is like the first day going back to school. It's always a very exciting time, and yeah, we want to start off the season very well. Obviously, we want to win. And that's what we train so hard for in the pre-season. And even though some, including myself, joined later, we are there, and yeah, we try to go play the best football we can and go for the win.
Obviously, there's a new gaffer in place, and he's a fellow Dutchman.
Yeah.
What have been your first impressions of him?
Yeah, very good. I think he's coming in with a new style of play, more based on ball possession. I think it's good for the team. Obviously, we learned a lot from the previous Gaffer as well. So, yeah, I think if you can combine those both qualities they had and they tried to give us, we can be an exciting team to watch.
And have you had any conversations with him about what type of role you're going to be playing in the forward line?
Yeah, so I spoke to him, and obviously he sees me as a left winger. Yeah, that's I think how he sees me. But yeah, we have a lot of players in the front line, and you know the season is long. There can be some injuries on every position, so he said as well. So if you're not playing there, or if you're playing there, but maybe I need you on another position, you can play there as well. So just be ready, and yeah, for me, I'm here and try to play my best football I can and help the club as much as I can with my qualities.
Just looking ahead to the Ipswich game, they're obviously back in the Premier League after a really, really long time out. It obviously means they'll be up for the game. Does that mean you have to match or exceed their intensity?
Yeah, obviously. They want to show that they are ready for it, and I think we understand that, and we have to be aware of that in the game as well, and be ready from the first minute until the last one. And exactly like you said, we have to match or even exceed their intensity, and then with our qualities everywhere on the pitch, we should win the game.
Yeah, the thoughts of Cody Gakpo there, who, Gary, as we said before the interview there, had such a good showing at the Euros, and that is huge confidence he can take into the start of this new season now.
Well, I think he was joint leading goal scorer, wasn't he? But,
he was, shared the
golden boot. It
golden
was a
boot,
paltry
yeah.
sum of 3 goals, though, I think. So, like, I wouldn't
Let's
say...
not play it down, Gary.
Yeah, but no, I think he's played his part. I think when you look at his performances last season for Liverpool, 8 goals in the Premier League, I think 13 goals in total. So he chipped in. It's going to be hard if, like, the manager sees him as a left winger and he's coming up against Luis Diaz. So, like, he's got a head-to-head kind of battle with him. The one thing in Gakpo's favour, you would suggest, is that he could probably play more or less any position along that front line, and even in a midfield position as well. So that gives him different options to get a number of games under his belt. And as I say, if he pops up and scores a few goals, then he can cement his place. Diaz wasn't prolific goal scoring wise last season, or assists, as Neil Mellor keeps on telling me.
He speaks about that frequently on the review show. Yes.
And you know, in this modern day day and age, assists and goals and stats are all what we talk about. We talk about Mohamed Salah being a world-class footballer. Is he a world-class footballer? I don't think he is a world-class footballer, but his stats suggest that he's a world-class footballer because his stats are through the roof. So that's the kind of like level that Gakpo has got to get to, and Diaz has got to get to, if we want to be challenging the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal.
Yeah, it is Luis Diaz, Phil, who does get the nod today against Ipswich. I mean, Gary mentioned there about his goal return is, I think, the one thing that sometimes journalists and sometimes fans as well feel that he should be maybe given a little bit more in terms of goals. But when you watched him against Sevilla, for example, he was electric against Sevilla.
And, I mean, you can read into pre-season a lot of different things. I feel that what happened in the Premier League last year is a lot of defenders got wise to him chopping in so quickly onto the right-hand side. I mean, it's a fantastic finish. Let's not take anything away. But when defenders are showing him that way, then you're cutting off his primary route. Be interesting to see if he goes outside a lot more. I think the system that we've got, we're going to be asking him to make a lot more runs from deep, a la this one, and yeah, so he has to contribute a lot more goals-wise. Obviously, the speculation from teams that are interested in him might play on his mind with his performance, but I think today's a massive game and a massive statement game for him today.
Yeah, it feels like a big season for Luis Diaz, doesn't it? As Phil says, he got 13 goals in all competitions. He's 27 now, Gary, so he's in his prime really now.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I think might help him with the fact, from what I've seen so far in the pre-season games, both wide players play a little bit more narrower than maybe what we saw under Jurgen Klopp. So I think that gives them the option, as Phil says, to go inside and to go outside. The one thing as a defender, when you're faced against a player like Luis Diaz, who has all the tricks in the book and can go past people, if you can go on the outside and the inside, it gets questions and doubts in the defender's mind. What way is he going to go now? Can he come inside? His favourable option would probably to come inside because it's on his right foot to like bend that ball into the bottom corner. But if you go outside, I think it just gives the defender a problem and it asks questions of the defender. I think if we saw that a little bit more this season, then I think it would benefit not just like Luis Diaz, but it would benefit Liverpool as well.
Okay, thank you both. We are heading to our first break now, and that also means it is time to say goodbye to those of you watching us on social. If you do want a bit more of us though, you can find details of how to subscribe to LFC TV and Go as well. Head to liverpoolfc.com/watch. Coming up on Matchday Live, more from Arne Slot is on the way. Plus, we will hear too from Virgil van Dijk, as well as fans' favourite for both sides today, John Walk. Come kick-off, Phil Thompson will be alongside Steve Hunter. He is going to bring you live audio commentary from 12:30. Then, after the full-time whistle, we will be back here to reflect on the game. And a few hours after that, we strip the pictures off our post-match show and turn it into the reaction podcast. That will be available wherever you normally get your podcasts from. Free highlights will then be available over on LFC TV Go from 5:15 tonight. Then full 90 minutes are going to be on LFC TV and LFC TV Go from midnight tonight. And do look out as well for the latest episode of Inside from Portman Road. That will land on YouTube and Facebook on Monday. After the break though, we go onto a deep dive with our opponents as the Tractor Boys return to the top flight for the first time in 22 years. We are back with you very soon. See you in a couple of minutes time.
Give the ball, he is